Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's lovely to see you. My name is Shlomo, and I am a beatboxer, composer, performer, and friendly Jew. And I've been asked today to come and demonstrate and talk to you a little bit about my journey. So if it's okay with you, I call this My Journey. Not that excited. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe I'll try that again. I call this My Journey. Yeah, well, maybe we'll get a bit more excited as it goes on. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to explain a bit about my journey. I have always been obsessed with music, rhythm, and showing off to the point where my mother says she has video footage of me aged 3 years old belly dancing at my grandmother's party. And I feel to explain that I need to really take you right back to the scene. So if it's okay, I'll introduce you to some important people. Over here is Nana. When I was small, there used to be quite a big Iraqi Jewish community living in London. And my Nana, she used to host these huge parties. Nana, she's about this tall. Her real name's Julie. And if you ever hear this sound, you know it's going to be a good night. Anyway, that's Julie. She's here, Nana. She's basically a headache in a jar. So I need to introduce you over here to my Grandpa Josh, who is like the antidote to Nana. This is the most chilled out human being you will ever meet. Grandpa Josh will sit there for hours at a time, just radiating happiness and clicking on his worry beads. Worry beads are these kind of, it's a string of beads that you can click together. And all the old Middle Eastern men have them to kind of alleviate their stresses about the camels or whatever. Sounds like this. Let me say. That went wrong. Let me try. That's the sound it makes. Let me try and record it so it'll keep going. Yeah. So I remember one of my earliest childhood memories sitting for hours transfixed by the music Grandpa Josh can make using nothing but a small drum, a handheld drum called a dumbug. It's a Middle Eastern drum, and he used to play just one rhythm over and over. It sounded like this. That's nice. Huh. So, Nana's parties, we'd always get there first. And you know something's gonna happen because all the chairs are laid out round the outside of the room. And the moment you cross the threshold, you can smell the food. Oh my gosh, Nana's food is to die for. And then your aunties start arriving. For some reason, there are hundreds of these old women who call themselves your auntie, and every single one of them wants to squeeze your cheeks as hard as she possibly can and tell you that you're the most beautiful human being that ever lived, which after a while, you start to believe. And then the band starts playing. There's always a proper Arabic band at Nana's parties. Let me try this. So, yeah. So Nana puts herself in charge of making sure everyone's having a good time. Every single person has to be laughing, joking, drinking, and clapping their hands. But that's not enough for Nana. She decides she needs to take the heat even higher. So she goes round the room, one by one. She grabs you by your hand and she pulls you to your feet until every single person at the party is on their feet. And then here's me, aged 3 years old, surrounded by aunties, when out comes the dancer, professional belly dancer, all the way from Egypt or something, and she wants to dance with me. All my aunties are going, dance darling, like something possessed. Man, who wouldn't do it? Thank you. Thank you. At least that's how I remember it. So yeah, that's kind of when things started for me in terms of understanding that for me everything was about music and about rhythm and about showing off. But it wasn't till I was 8 years old that my parents bought me my first drum kit. They were sick of me banging on the pots and pans. So they bought me these drums on one condition. There was one strict rule of me having these drums, which was I was not to practice the drums after 6 p.m. because the neighbors might complain. This rule was very strict to be enforced at all times, even though Top of the Pops used to be on at 7. That's a real problem for me. So I had to find ways to practice my drums without the neighbors hearing. And I ended up just kind of using my voice to kind of copy rhythm and practice tone and practice kind of making music in my own private way. Thanks. Yeah, that was when I was 8. I was pretty good. No, not really. But what happened was I kind of decided I wasn't gonna let these rules hold me back. I was gonna try and push myself forward at all times. And I realized that my friends liked to hear these sounds. For me, it was just a private thing for my own enjoyment. But my friends started saying, "Wow, that's cool. Can you do a bit more of this?" So I thought, okay, this is cool. I'm going to start developing this thing. And I realized other people did it. It had a name. It's called beatboxing. I'm going to start practicing this technique and learning how to be a beatboxer. So I started doing this, and I thought, right, I'm setting myself a rule now. I think this is a good thing, and I'm going to keep these rules going. My rule is going to be I will only perform using my voice, nothing else. And I'm going to see how far I can take this thing. And it was fantastic. I thought maybe I could use a microphone. Yeah, that's fair enough. I could use a microphone. And I realized when I was a kid, I used to do these beats to impress my friends, these garage beats like... The problem was you couldn't really hear the kick drum that clearly because it was coming out the side of my throat. So I thought, what would happen if I took 2 microphones if I put one more mic against my throat to try and capture some bass. Let me see. Then we had garage. I was so happy this moment had come. I could suddenly express myself in new ways. And it meant I had a new rule. The new rule was, okay, I can use 2 microphones. So by this stage, I'm about 18 years old. I'm traveling around making music and performing around the place. But I'm essentially just using my music as a means for showing off. I'm not really expressing myself as a musician. And one day, I get a phone call. I was working in a Lonely Hearts advert place, typing out people's Lonely Hearts adverts. Not good. And I had a phone call on my mobile, and it said, "Hi, my name is Bjork. I've heard you're beatboxing, and I need you to come and record your beatboxing on my all-vocal album. Would you come tomorrow to record?" I was like, well, these lonely people aren't going to find their partners by themselves. But no, I did. I went down to record with Bjork, and I made this lovely piece of music with her. But what really blew my mind about that was she wasn't interested in the gimmicky, showing off element, the kind of novelty of beatboxing being like, wow, he's doing it all with his voice. Isn't that amazing? She didn't really care about that. She wasn't actually impressed by that. She wanted to see me as a musician, and she wanted to use my creativity to make some new music, which had never even occurred to me. I didn't think of it like that. I never put the 2 things together. Beatboxing is music. Beatboxing is creative. Beatboxing could be a way for me to make my own music. I thought, wow, this is mind-blowing. This is mind-blowing. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And it just happened about 2 or 3 weeks later. Someone sent me a link to a man looping his voice with a simple piece of technology to loop the sound he was making. And I thought, wow, okay. The only problem with this is it's kind of cheating. But I think if I only use my voice with the loop station, that won't be cheating, man. No one's gonna leave. I'm sure they won't. So I got myself a loop station. I'm sure you're familiar with a thing like this if you're at Music Tech Fest, but it's amazing. You can start to sample yourself. So now I'm free. All of a sudden I can have 2 of me, or 3 of me, or about 1,000 Shlomos all beatboxing at the same time, which I'm sure would appeal to some more than others. That's okay. Tank, flat, boss, walk, jam, nitty gritty, tank, flat, boss, walk, jam, nitty gritty, jam, nitty gritty, jump, nitty gritty. Friends tell me I am crazy, that I'm wasting time with you. You'll never be mine. That's not the way I see it, 'cause I feel you're already mine. Whenever you're with me. People always talk about reputation, 'cause 'Cause I don't care about your other boys. Just be good to me. Just be good to me. Just be be good to me. Just be good to me, yeah. Just be good to me, yeah. Just be good to me. Thank you. Thank you. So from here, I realized it might be okay to push yourself into new areas, man. It's like the loop station suddenly unlocked a million things. I'd pushed my voice so hard before that. I tried everything I could. I'd innovated and I'd gained respect from my peers. And now, all of a sudden, there's like a whole new world to be explored. So I went through with that. I explored that a bit more. I carried on looping. I heard they were going to do a world looping championship. So I thought, hell, man, I'll just go and do that for fun. It sounds like a lot of fun. I can go and geek out with some other looping people. I went to that. I did win it, but what was important about it wasn't the winning. It was I actually met this other guy who was judging the World Looping Championships. He was another beatboxer, a guy called Dub FX. And what was amazing about him was he had the loop station right, but he also had this whole machine just for effects, just for playing around with his voice and mashing it up and mangling it and exploring that whole world. And I thought, well, I know I said I wouldn't do that, but as long as I only use my voice with the effects unit, that's not cheating. So it's all about, for me, like setting yourself a creative restriction. And I've met so many other artists who live like this. You have to set yourself some kind of rule, some kind of restriction. And it makes you think of things to work around that restriction that you otherwise might never have thought of. Otherwise, you're just left with too many creative options. It's like you could make anything in the world, but where do you start? You need to limit it somehow. So for me, it's been a fascination, but also sometimes a bit of an obsession, just like actually a bit of a fear. Do you know what I mean? Like a paranoia. What if I do something different, then I'll lose everything. Suddenly I won't be valid or valuable as an artist. If I break free from this one rule I set myself as a child to only use my voice. And I thought, man, there's just so much I could do here. I could start using other instruments or maybe do things that weren't even recorded live. But man, if I do that, I think people might not believe me or understand me or get it. And I thought, nah, I don't think I can do it. So I thought maybe I'd try it. I tried it out at one show. I started playing a synth in the middle of this song, and I started playing some clips that I'd prepared in the studio. And to my shock and absolute horror, the crowd didn't notice. And more importantly, they didn't give a flying F. All they cared about was I was creating something that meant something to me, and I could express something important to me. And it turns out people don't really care how you make something, apart from the geeks who we love and we respect and we work with and share ideas with. On the whole, as long as you are passionate about something, that's what people want to hear. That's the energy they want to feed off. So I've been in a new chapter recently, just exploring anything and everything that could be possible, using, I don't know, whatever toys you have. I've got some lovely toys here, and I'm going to try and make some new music for you now. This is what I wanted to feel like. Couldn't feel the warmth, couldn't see light. We hold the eye of the storm, elastic time, not torn. Could it be the war or the green light, green light, green light, green light, light, light. When I lie here with you, I close my eyes. There's a time lapse with you, the world is mine. When I lie here with you, I close my eyes, close my eyes, yeah. When I lie here with you, I close my eyes. There's a time lapse with you, the world is mine. When I lie here with you, I close my eyes. Don't know where I end, you begin. I don't know where I end, you begin. No. Yeah. I don't know where. Don't know where. Don't know where. Don't know where I end and you begin. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. That's very kind of you. As Dub mentioned, I'm going to collaborate with someone very talented, but I haven't seen him, so I don't know if he's here. Apparently he's not, so Dub's going to come up and do a beatbox battle against me now, just to fill in. No, not really, I'm teasing. So is Jason not here? No son of Jason. He's fucked off. That's fine. These things happen. I can keep making some music for you if you guys would like. Yeah. Okay, man, I'm going to keep exploring down this whole journey. day has come. The day has come, yeah. But the day has come. Never felt quite like this. Fly away from home. Don't know where I'll be tonight. He drove me out to King's Cross Station with a tearful smile. Did not hesitate at all. Blue rain washed my face. Yeah. Whole life in one suitcase. Yeah. On my own, ready to go. horizon. Out there, people. I said, are you out there, people? Yeah. But I figured out I'm gonna be somebody, like a melted stone. Set me free with the simple words. I figured out I'm gonna be somebody, and he set me free when he said these simple words. Time to fly, my son, my son, my son, my son. Time to fly, my son, yeah. I'm ready to go. Horizon, new horizon. Oh, da 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 Thank you so much. You've been lovely. What a lovely bunch. Thanks for listening to my journey.